So then I'd like to just start with current state of the RSVP Center. As far as my knowledge goes, Katrina is the only full-time employee right now. Is that correct?
That's not correct. We also have another full-time employee that's serving as an advocate in the RSVP Center.
Who's that?
Should we give names? Because my concern is, again, I don't want the advocates to be, I mean, I guess it's public record.
Yeah, I mean,
so,
they're employees.
Yeah, so Peyton Fellowall is the other court advocate that's in this space as well. So there's two individuals full-time in the RSVP Center.
Is she a full-time employee or is she working part-time?
She's a full-time employee.
Okay. Is she a grad student?
No, she's a full-time. She graduated from in social work, I believe a year ago.
Okay.
So she's a full-time employee.
Got it. Okay, so there's two people currently. When did she start exactly?
Her official start date, I can go back and pull, but I believe it was in October. But she was in an interim role, I believe, starting in September. September 1st, I believe, was her start date in an interim role.
Okay. Gotcha. So then, let's see. But Katrina is in the coordinator role currently, is that right?
It's two coordinator roles. So Katrina's a coordinator, but Peyton is also a coordinator.
For the advocacy.
So Peyton is going to be our full-time person that's going to work on advocacy at this particular point.
Right.
We were actually doing a national search to hire another advocate as well. So the plan is we're starting to see more faculty and staff come in and talk to our advocates. So we want to have a coordinator, which I think, again, at this particular point, Peyton will roll over into that will work with faculty, staff, and students. But Peyton is filling that role right now until we fill the other position. So we'll have two advocates in the role. So Katrina's role is a coordinator, but Peyton is the exact same role as well. So there's two coordinators in the space right now.
Right. But Katrina's role is focused not on advocacy. What is she focused on?
Well, so the piece that we're looking at is it's going to be based on the needs of the office. So Katrina's role, if need be, and she has done that, is to help with advocacy as well. So she has done some advocacy work as well.
Okay. So there was a period of time then where Katrina was the only full-time employee, correct? After Chris Walters left?
No, Peyton was in the role before Chris Walters left.
Okay. And when was his exact end date? Do you have that?
I don't have Chris Walters' exact end date.
It was October?
I can go back and pull.
Day, but
it was in October, but we also kept him on as a consultant for at least 3 or 4 weeks into after the Green Dot conference. So Chris Walters was actually still employed. It may be I waited to November because he was working on a part-time basis. I can go back and get all those exact dates for you.
So you mentioned you're currently in the hiring process.
Correct.
What roles besides that other advocacy role are you looking for right now?
We're looking at the prevention position, the role that Chris Walters traditionally performed. So those are the two positions that we're interviewing for.
Okay.
At this current state. We are looking at applications as we speak. We plan to have individuals hired ideally before March break, before spring break, if everything goes exactly as planned. But we will start fairly soon to have on-campus interviews for both positions.
Okay. What you said that you were looking to staff 5 people total.
So it'll be 4 total. It's 4 total. The fifth role is Laura Hackworth. Is the 5th role. She manages and supports and works with the office. She actually helps with the grant. She's a part of the grant. So Laura Hackworth is, in essence, she supervises multiple areas in the social justice department, but she works very close with RSVP. So if we calculate her time, she would be the 5th employee. But there will be 5 coordinators in the role, and Laura Hackworth will be there to support and lead the team as well.
Okay, so this also says that there was a need for 3 advocacy positions then.
So there's a need. I mean, like on any position on campus, any office, I supervise 6 different areas. And I think we can make the case that there's a need for more people in every single area. So that would be great. Yeah, we would love to have more people to do the work, but we have great people currently in the roles doing a great, tremendous job now.
Right.
So yes, in a dream world, that would be great, but we will maximize and work with and partner with several offices which we have across campus to make sure our students' needs are getting met.
Okay, so there's one person in the advocacy role now, and there's potentially a need for 3 people.
So the piece that we understand, we know, so we don't have a model as one person. There is one person whose main responsibility will be to advocate and be advocate for the students. We have trained individuals in the office that can also support. So based on the need and based on what's going on a particular day, particular week, we will employ the other people in the office to do the work. So we don't have a model historically what you may have thought of. There's just one advocate. The model is what is the needs of the students. We have all trained individuals that will support and help students based on the volume.
Gotcha.
So we're not looking at that model of just one person's going to. There's going to be a person that's going to be expert. And we're going to be very focused. So so Peyton is actually in that role now. So she is the point advocate, but Katrina has the skill set. So if there's a need, Katrina can fill in and help out and assist. And it's going to be the exact same thing. We're going to hire another advocate position, but again, there will be multiple people that will support and help out throughout the space. So we're not going to have a model one person just does one thing. We will have experts, but we're going to have a trained team of staff members that can help and assist whatever's needed. If it's presenting, if it's doing advocacy, if it's to do outreach, our team is going to be multifaceted. That's going to be able to support and help whatever the needs of the population.
Gotcha. So when I think of what Taylor did, she was mostly focused on, I mean, obviously people coming in randomly and like those emergency sort of appointments, but also she had the clients going through the Title IX system as well. So would it be the same where Peyton is the one focused on those clients and then the emergency appointments are sort of spread out, or?
So the advocate role will be the point person handling, working with Title IX, and then we'll have 2 that will be doing similar roles. So it'll be 2 doing that role, not just 1.
Okay. Is there any sort of, so you said that you're looking to hire more people by March then?
Yes.
Now you mentioned that there was a previous search to fill those roles.
Correct.
When did that happen exactly?
The search started end of July. We searched, we had on-campus interviews. The commitment for this role is important. This work is very important. So I told the team that we need to get as many people in to support our students, but one thing that I would not do, and I made sure, again, my style is to really get feedback from my team and to make sure they're on the same board. And as we won't settle though, this is too important to just have anyone just to fill the role just because of, we got to have a body in the spot. That's not going to be effective, and long term it's just going to do a disservice to our students. So we had great individuals, we had good individuals come in, but not a great fit for the roles we needed to fill. So we made the call, and I met with the team. It's like, okay, are you all feeling comfortable? Can they do it? Yeah, they feel good, but they're not what we're looking for. And I said, if that's the case, we need to close the search and then open it up again and find the person. In this case now, having multiple people fill the role. So we started the search. It wasn't a successful search, good people, but it wasn't a successful search for what, because the bar is very high for what we need in this space, and we're not going to settle.
Right.
This go around, we have some great candidates that we're excited about. We're going to go through the process. The plan is to have the folks in as soon as possible, but again, with any search processes, there's background, there's all those things to factor in, but our plan is to do everything possible to get the people in as soon as possible. So had the team reviewing applications just the other day. We're setting up phone interviews. We're going to set up on-campus interviews, and if everything pans out, that's our plan. So we're going to do everything on our part, and we're going to keep going, but we're not going to settle though either. We're going to make sure, and we're going to adjust and make sure that our team that's there now gets as much support from the campus and the community, working with the Career Center, working with Behavioral Health, working with True North if need be. So we're going to utilize whatever to make sure the students' needs are getting met, but we're not going to settle because these positions are too critical.
Right. So I guess 2 questions from that. So you had the original search start in July, and then Peyton started in her role in September as like an interim role, you said. Was she from that original search, or how did she sort of get involved?
Peyton had worked with us in another capacity, and Peyton, very talented individual, so I was watching Peyton. I knew what Peyton's background was. So when Peyton was expressing that she was about to do a search, I quickly started talking to Peyton about serving in an interim role to see if she can help out and see if it's a good fit. Peyton was a good fit. The students love her, the staff love her. So we quickly positioned Peyton to serve in that role.
Okay, so she wasn't necessarily a part of that official search. No. Okay. And then you might have mentioned this briefly, but what is different about the current search now as opposed to the one that happened in July that sort of came up?
I think it's timing. So I think timing with interviews is timing, and it's we've also tried to broaden our scope of contacting different areas. We've also employed multiple people to send out through various listservs. But I think the timing of the search is, and I've done it multiple times through our higher ed. I think the most, again, it's just not to knock individuals. The most talented folks in most searches are, and especially in higher ed, are employed in the spring for the fall. So you have individuals that, again, you might luck out, but the reality, I've always had way more success hiring folks in the spring because people are more apt to relocate, to move, to start for the fall semester. So the search process, historically, from my vantage point, has always been better later. But again, we couldn't wait. I mean, so we were hoping if we could find some individuals that could fill the spot, and we just didn't hit the mark. The pool this semester, especially for the advocate position, looks pretty strong. I'm excited about the candidates that we're going to ask to come to campus. The search process is the pool is still open, so we're gonna keep looking until it closes, and then we'll invite folks to campus. So I'm excited, but again, it's not a guarantee. We're gonna do everything we can on our part to make sure we get someone in, but I'm excited about the pool this go around.
What if it doesn't work out?
We're going to keep searching. We're not going to stop. I mean, this is not something that we're going to rest on. We're going to keep. And again, I think I'm optimistic this go around. But if it doesn't, I think also too, again, it goes to even further in the spring semester. There's going to be more people apt to relocate, to move as well. So I think we'll find a good candidate. But I think our really working with multiple areas to get the word out, I think that's going to help us.
Gotcha. Since there's only 2 full-time employees now, do you have a sort of contingency plan set up if for some reason one or both of them has to be out of the office for an accident or something like that?
Well, we work with multiple areas as well. So we're going to continue to ask different people to support and help out. So counseling center has always been supportive. Behavioral health has always been supportive. I'm confident that we'll be able to get some individuals in the space now. And historically, too, we've had, again, the model in the past was to have 1 person in the role. Now we have 2. So that's expanding it. But we're going to always have reach out to the community to support us. We'll look for interim folks that serve in the capacity. We're really daily in communication with Behavioral Health to help support us as well. So we'll utilize our services at True North as well. Gotcha. So we'll definitely work with the community to make sure the needs are being met.
Gotcha. And then this also said that one of the advocates might be focused on faculty. Is there enough of a demand from that region specifically that it does dictate someone, focused on that area?
In the summertime, we see a peak. I mean, so with the students going on in the summer, there's not as many students and faculty. Peyton is we're utilizing her to assess kind of the needs of the office as well. So we're going to start really tracking it. So first and foremost, we got to get the data. I don't think we can officially. Right now, we're going based on where we're seeing and tracking that there's more faculty coming in.
Yeah.
But part of it, though, too, and I'm pretty sure you're aware of this, is too just the awareness of the service and people being more comfortable that it's a confidential space. More people will come.
Right.
So that's where I think the numbers will jump. But I think right now the answer will be no to just have 1 person for the full time just for faculty. Okay. But I think the role is, I think there's enough for faculty, staff, and students, and I think eventually. I think we're probably a year or 2 away. With the size of this campus, and the fact that if faculty knew the support was available, they would come. And I think the answer would be yes. But right now, as of today, if we hire somebody tomorrow, I would say no, it's not full time. But you never know with the change of things that's going on in the community. Things may change. But right now, there's a good number of faculty coming in the summer. Again, that's the other piece. Even talking about it right now. It could make some faculty not want to come if we're sharing that we're doing this service. I mean, so that's part of this the piece of this is, again, it's nothing to hide, but the reality is it's so important and crucial that we protect confidentiality, that people are using the services, and we want to make sure they feel comfortable and they know if they come here, hey, everybody, so did you know so-and-so was it? We got to be mindful of that. If we're really talking about what we want to do and we really want to stop violence, we got to make sure that we are understand that there's some needs for some privacy in the space. So I think there will come, but again, it's going to depend on if faculty feel like they can trust, they come here, no one is reporting it and they're not being identified. Gotcha. But I think there is a need. And as we know, it's one of the most underreported crimes that's happening, so we know that. Yeah. So the numbers, so it's happening in our community, like it or not, it's happening in every community across the United States. I think the value is that we have this place, and I think based on the great history of the work that we have done, is that people are starting to come. And I think we have this misnotion of, based on number, there's so many different variables. I mean, the Me Too movement, people are feeling more comfortable this year than they were last year. So many different variables that factor in, but it's also the comfort level that I feel comfortable that I can come and talk in a space and I won't have people report now. I mean, so that is so crucial to the work. So yes, the numbers are here just based on what we know, based on the data of the underreported acts of violence that's happening in every community. So, and I think the more we build, the more we assess, the more that we are providing services that the community feels comfortable with. I think that the need is there. We just got to make sure we're doing our part to advertise, that we're confidential, that we're going to support. And it's about the time, though, too. So oftentimes in this work, we think about it as just one person. That one person, there's a lot of things that comes with that one person. It's a lot of work. So dealing and supporting one person could take weeks, hours, hundreds of hours of time, months, and people don't realize that. So they're looking at, so this is different in that sense. So yes, there is a need, but we got to build the structure, and I think that we are very close. I think faculty would come, staff would come, but we got to build this culture, and the community has to accept it though too. Yeah.
You mentioned advertising confidentiality. How is it just an insider thing? Like, how do you promote that?
Well, it's the response of when you come. Are we sharing this? Are we telling it? Are we sharing it? That's what I'm talking about. Do they feel comfortable that I went to RSVP, talked about this very important issue that I don't want if we're talking about faculty or students, that I don't want my peers, I don't want my colleagues to know about. I know that there I can feel comfortable. They help me, and if I choose to share my story, I can choose to share my story. If I choose to have law enforcement involved, it's my choice to give that power back. As long as we keep that culture, which I think we have.